I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Szulski took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
I'm curious myself. I haven't had a chance to find out.
Yes, I understand. My condolences, once again. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I think I ought to arrest you, Thaumaturge.
I haven't done anything, officer. What's the problem?
I barely recognize you either. You still haven't figured out who I am? Don't be surprised. The last time we saw one another was 20 kilos ago.
Uncle Voronin?
I will not keep you. The guy's probably all alone back there, among those vultures circling Stasio. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. Go on. We'll talk later.
Sister?
Wiktor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly. Look at yourself. What happened?
I took a short trip to a Warsaw jail.
What? Are you joking? During the funeral? Are you all right?
Everything's fine, don't worry. Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better, and definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 salutors. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother, because she wanted something for herself in life. Ligia, because she wasn't born a boy. Me, because I was born a thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now, Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
What do you want?
Well, what do people come to funerals for? I came to pay my respects to the dead. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Wiktor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
I don't think so. I intend to leave as soon as I wrap up my family obligations. I doubt we'll have time to meet again.
Who knows? Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Kanieczkin. Ivan Kanieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a thaumaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a thaumaturge. I barely remember him. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros postmortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
I can sort it out, but it might cause you some trouble.
It's not worth getting your hands dirty over.
Get out of here, or I might decide you're attacking an Imperial official, and you'll wake up tomorrow in the Citadel.
Are you threatening me, Judge?
I'm actually sparing you from him. Would you rather try your luck with a thaumaturge? Come on, children. I'm sure my Pietia is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
young Mr. Szulski, after all these years, all these years. Goodness gracious, you're drenched!
Good evening, Grażynka.
Evening, evening. My, you're soaked. Come to the kitchen now. You can warm up by the stove. And that drunken judge, maybe you can drag him out too.
Where's my sister?
In the study, already waiting with the lawyer. She said you were running late. Should I make you some cocoa, master? It would warm you up a little.
No need to fuss, Grażynka. I'm used to worse chills than this.
It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietya! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasio's. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Wiktor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure. How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasio's study after every funeral we went to, and raised a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasio and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone? I suppose there's no reason to bear grudges or be angry, is there? To Stasio?
To an easy death.
Familiar faces keep vanishing from my life. Stasio and my Helena before him. I miss my little darling. I miss them both. Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
You'll all have to wait for me a moment yet.
All right, but hurry up.
I am ready, Mr. Szulski. I only need all of you to be present. Can we start reading your father's will?
Yes, let his will be done. Begin.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaslav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter, Ligia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Stasio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Wiktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Szulski used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him, myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined the Nijitas, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Aboritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
And Mordechai Chayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock-taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.